You have found the ultimate video series testing and comparing through a variety of categories the three main options in the shallow water anchor market. In this video, I'll be comparing the downforce that each of these units makes. When I say downforce, I'm not comparing these to a spoiler on a race car, although you can tell people that's what they're for when they ask you what those things are on the back of your boat, because you will get that question quite a bit. What I'm talking about is the force that these units are able to make to drive this fiberglass stake into the ground. First, let's talk about why this is important. So I'm sure any of you that own power poles, Talons, or Raptors have had a day where it's really windy or in heavy current and you put your anchors down and the current or wind just pushes your boat away from the current or wind. So this downforce will directly affect your anchor's ability to hold you in those conditions. And it probably won't be such a big deal in mud because the mud's just going to kind of give anyway. But in a harder bottom like rock or sand, this will definitely affect the holding power of the anchor. So in comparing the three options, the Raptors and the power poles, of course, are hydraulic. So basically an electric motor turns a hydraulic pump, which pumps hydraulic fluid under pressure to the cylinder in the anchor. And that force is then used to drive the fiberglass rod into the ground. Whereas the Talons are driven by an electric motor that spins a pulley that pulls a wire, essentially, and uses that to drive the fiberglass stake into the ground. When we compare the units, the Raptors do have bigger pumps both visually and they weigh more. So I would expect the Raptors to have more downforce than the power poles, but I have no idea what to expect with the Talons being that they're electric. So let's go ahead and run the test and see what the results are. So the setup for this test is pretty simple. Basically just have the spike come down, hit this calibrated 2x4. It's basically just a regular 2x4, but I have it on there to protect the scale. And then read the measurement off the scale. I'm gonna do this 3 times for each unit. And then once, I'm just gonna hold the button down to see if I can get a max measurement of what the unit is capable of, see if it can push it further than what it shuts itself off at. So let's go ahead and get started. I did make one minor error when I was measuring these. So basically I forgot to zero the scale beforehand, so this just has to be accounted for when we're taking the final measure. The first test on the power pole measured 73 pounds. The second test measured 74 pounds. And the last test measured 73 pounds for an average of 73.3.
Push it down and hold it a little bit.
And the maximum force was 77 pounds.
All right, that's good.
For the Talon, the first test produced 81 pounds. The second test was 79 pounds. And the third test was 82 pounds for an average of 80.7 pounds. For the max force on the Talon, basically I just put it in the rough water mode, but as you can see here, it didn't actually increase the amount of force that the anchor created. So the max force is basically the same as the average force. For the Raptor, the first test produced 99 pounds of downforce. The second test produced 102 pounds. And the third test was 100 pounds for an average of 100.3 pounds. And when I held the button down on the pump, the max force for the Raptor was 117 pounds. The overall results of the test showed that the Raptor produced the highest force, just a little over 100 pounds, followed by the Talon, and then the power pole was the lowest. The Raptor also had the highest max force at 117 pounds, followed by the Talon, and then the power pole at 77 pounds. This downforce measurement is just one item out of many that can impact which anchor is right for you. My plan for this video series is to make one video per week on each of these items you see listed here. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss these future videos. Also, if you have an idea for another video that you want to see, be sure to drop that in the comments and I'll see what I can do. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.